I am a 27-year-old female with a younger brother, sister, and a father who passed away in an accident 8 years ago. My father was a male that I used to be very close to, but we have drifted apart since then. The aftermath of such a profound loss reshaped my life and my relationships in ways I could never have anticipated, particularly with my father. I was incredibly close to my father before the tragedy, as I grew up looking a lot like my sister, who was adored by our dad. My dad was very close to my sister. They shared a special bond, often joking that she would take care of him when he got older. After their deaths, though, that dynamic changed dramatically. I think seeing me might remind my dad of her, which might be why we've drifted apart. He has always been skeptical about therapy, believing it to be a sign of weakness. When I sought therapy a few months after the accident to handle my grief, he was dismissive. He told me to be stronger and not to give people the satisfaction of seeing a couple of years after the accident. My dad remarried. This is when things really started to change. His new wife had 2 kids from a previous relationship. From the start, it was clear that we wouldn't get along. She influenced my dad to make decisions that excluded me. She even accused me of bullying her kids. I set boundaries at my beach house, refusing to let them throw an unsupervised party. She insisted they treat my staff with respect. Her children were teenagers at the time, and her daughter seemed to have assumed that the financial stability my dad appeared to have was a result of his own doing. In reality, a significant portion of the money was from my mom's will, which was left to me. I used this inheritance wisely, investing it and building a successful career in the tech field, which further solidified my financial independence. This seemed to be a point of contention or perhaps jealousy from my dad's new wife. At a gender reveal party for my dad and his wife's twins, my dad announced they'd name the twins after my deceased siblings. I found this inappropriate and insensitive, given the complex feelings associated with such a decision. I voiced my concern, suggesting that using my siblings' names was weird and perhaps not the best choice. His wife dismissed me, calling me jealous. The confrontation that ensued was heated. I expressed my frustrations about how my dad had changed. He allowed his new wife to treat me poorly and seemed to prioritize her and her children over me. I recounted how he hadn't even shown appreciation when I bought him a house to secure his living situation. I also mentioned how disappointed our siblings would be if they could see the state of our family now. My father told me to get out of his house. As I was about to leave, his wife came up to me. I kid you not. She told me, "Don't let the door hit your butt all the way out." I walked back and told my dad that he and his wife had a month to leave my house. I reminded them that the house they were living in was actually mine. I told them they needed to find another place to live within a month. His wife broke down, and my dad accused me of being vindictive and ungrateful. This further strained our relationship. Since then, I've received numerous messages from her family members demanding an apology from me, citing my behavior as unacceptable, especially given her pregnancy. My friends and some family members support my decision, believing that I was justified in standing up for myself. However, they also suggest perhaps allowing my dad to stay if he chooses to leave his wife. I'm not inclined to offer such leniency. Reflecting on all this, I'm torn between the desire to uphold my boundaries and the guilt over the I am stressed by this situation, but I know I have to protect my own mental and emotional health. After years of feeling sidelined and unvalued, I am finally standing up for myself. This is a complex situation that requires careful consideration. I am open to a path to reconciliation or at least a resolution that doesn't compromise my well-being for the sake of appeasing others. I am not the one who is wrong here. Before the updates, I was called an a-hole. They should be ashamed of themselves. They should name their twins after your dad's siblings. It's wrong because your dad's siblings were born to your dad and mom and stepmom. They need to come up with other names. Your stepmom is a piece of work. I'm sorry for your loss of your mom and siblings. The way the new wife has worked to cut Opie out of her father's life is unacceptable. She's trying to override Opie's siblings in her husband's mind. She was probably thinking, "Dad has lots of money and valuable property I can get if I push Opie out." This happened to me and my brother when our dad went off the rails during his midlife crisis. My dad's house was basically willed to me by my brother, so there was no way for her to get it. No matter how deep her pockets were, she didn't have a lot of money either. She refused to get a job, whereas he had a state pension, military benefits, and a part-time job. I'm lucky that my dad eventually wised up when she tried to pass her fourth pregnancy. It wasn't possible because he had a vasectomy 20 years prior and dumped her. She was a walking dumpster fire at home. A relationship with her was its time to take a stand. Your dad is unhinged, and your stepmom is the reason. Get them out of your house. Don't let them have any contact, not even limited contact, until your dad gets therapy and comes to his senses. I know you said he doesn't believe in therapy, but make it conditional. If he wants a relationship with you, he's wholly dependent on Opie for home and finances. At least that way he has something to lose. It's clear where his loyalty lies. Loyalty lies, and it's not with his daughter. Update 1. My mom, younger brother, and sister all died in that accident. Since then, our relationship has changed drastically. I resemble my younger sister, who was particularly close to him, so I'm constantly reminded of what was lost. This seems to have strained our interactions. A few years after the loss, I bought a house for my dad. I thought it would help mend our relationship. This house, which is under my name, was meant as a grand gesture of appreciation for all he had done for me. Despite our growing distance, I wanted to show how much I cared and hoped we could repair the bond we once shared. However, things haven't gone as planned. Over the years, I ended up footing the bill for almost all his expenses, covering everything from house maintenance to his day-to-day needs, without much acknowledgement or appreciation. It's been draining both financially and emotionally. The tipping point came recently during a gender reveal party for his new twins with his second wife. At the party, he announced plans to name the twins after my deceased siblings. This might seem like a touching tribute at first glance, but the context made it feel like a misstep to me. It felt less like honoring their memory and more like an attempt to replace them. The decision struck a nerve, especially since it seemed to symbolize an attempt to erase the painful past rather than confront and heal from it. I expressed my concerns during the party, which unfortunately escalated into I confronted him. His wife accused me of being jealous, which only made things worse. I shared a lot of pent-up feelings about how he had shifted his priorities, how he seemed to have changed since marrying his new wife, and how I felt sidelined in my own family. Following the party, I made the difficult decision to ask my dad and his wife to move out of the house I owned. I gave them a 30-day notice, legally proceeding with the eviction. My lawyer and I have considered this decision at length. It was not made lightly. I have felt underappreciated and somewhat used for the financial stability I have offered. Some of you have suggested cutting off contact entirely. While I am considering it, I have decided to give my dad one more chance to bridge the gap between us. We have agreed to meet this weekend, just the two of us without his wife. We will have a frank discussion about everything. I plan to suggest therapy as a condition for any further contact. I believe he needs to address his grief and how it's affected his relationships, not just with me but with everyone around him. This meeting will determine the future of our relationship. If he's open to getting help and working on mending things, there might be a path forward. If not, I'll accept that our paths will diverge and move forward with my life without him. I'll keep you updated on how it goes. I'll keep you posted on what happens next. This situation isn't easy, but your support has been invaluable. Whether this weekend brings closure or a new beginning, I'll share the outcome with you all. Thanks again for being there when it feels like the ground is shifting under my feet. Update 2. I appreciate all the support and advice you've given me. It's been super helpful. I finally had that talk with my dad I've been telling you about. Things took a turn. We decided to meet at a coffee shop because it seemed like a good, neutral place to chat. First, things were pretty tense. I told him everything that was on my mind, including how weird it felt for him to want to name his new twins after my siblings who passed away. I also told him how tough it's been paying for his stuff without him realizing how much it's straining me and how distant we've become. I even brought up the idea of going to therapy together. We decided to go to therapy together to fix some of our issues. As we were getting deep into our conversation, my dad's phone started going off nonstop. He tried to ignore it, but it kept buzzing, and he looked really worried. Finally, he took the call. When he came back to the table, he looked like he'd seen a ghost. He told me his wife was rushed to the hospital because she was having the twins way earlier than expected. But that wasn't all. The biggest shock of all was that my dad wasn't sure if he was actually the father. Apparently, his wife might have been seeing her ex, and the timing of the whole pregnancy was kind of suspicious. My dad was totally crushed. He felt so betrayed and confused because he really thought these twins would be a way to start fresh after all the sadness we've had. We didn't waste a minute and headed straight to the hospital. The whole ride there, my dad couldn't stop talking about how he missed so many signs because he just wanted to feel like he had a family again. When we got there, things got even more dramatic. Herrick showed up and suddenly it was like a scene from a movie. Shouting, arguing, and hospital security had to step in. My dad decided he needed a paternity test to see if he's really the father of the twins. While all this chaos was happening, he kept apologizing to me for letting our relationship fade and for not seeing how much pressure I was under. He promised he will start therapy regardless of the test results because he has realized he has a lot of issues to work through following the loss of my mother and siblings. It was a lot to take in, but I am feeling a mix of anger and sadness, but also a bit of hope that things can get better. We agreed to slow things down and take it one step at a time for now. He is staying in a hotel to give us both some space. We're going to his first therapy session together next week. This wasn't the sort of resolution I was expecting, but it's a start. I'll keep you guys updated on what happens with the paternity test and how things go with therapy. Thanks again for all the support. It means a lot during this crazy time. All right, let's dive in. We finally got those paternity test results back. The results are in, and it's clear my dad is the father of the twins. That's good news. However, as with everything else in our lives right now, there's more to the story. Here's the deal. My dad is the biological father of the twins. That's a huge relief. But there's still a massive cloud hanging over us because of the affair his wife had. She did have an affair with her ex, which she admitted to after all the drama unfolded. She says it was a huge mistake, happening at a time when she felt really lonely and ignored by my dad. She's super apologetic and is trying to make things right, but it's not that simple. My dad, well, he's got a whirlwind of emotions going on. He's thrilled that he's the twins' dad, but he's also heartbroken and angry about the my dad is trying to figure out if he can ever trust her again and what that means for their marriage. He's staying in that hotel to give himself some space to think things through. They've started going to couples therapy to sort through the mess of feelings and salvage their relationship. It's going to be a long and tough journey for them, and for me too. I've been doing a lot of thinking. I've been thinking a lot and supporting my dad through this. It's been tough, but I'm there for him. We've been going to therapy together too, which has been great. We're talking about things we've never talked about before, and it's helping us understand each other better. It's strange, but talking about our feelings is really getting down to the nitty-gritty. It's helping us reconnect in ways I didn't think were possible after all that's happened. We're rebuilding our bridge plank by plank about the twins. They're really cute and healthy, which is awesome. I've been to see them a few times now, and it's kind of amazing to see parts of my family in them. It makes me think a lot about what family means and how forgiveness isn't just about saying it's okay. I'm going to figure out why things happen the way they did and what comes next for us. My dad has a lot to figure out with his wife. They have to decide if they can move past the affair and how they'll raise the twins together. As for me, I'm taking things one day at a time, being supportive, and keeping my own life on track. This whole situation has been a huge reminder of how messy and complicated family can be. It's also shown me how important it is to stick together and try to understand each other, even when it's tough. Thanks for sticking with me through this family roller coaster. I'll keep you posted on how things go with my dad, the therapy, and everything else. Your messages and comments really mean a lot to me, especially when things get overwhelming. Keep them coming until the next time. Take care and send good vibes our way. Update 4 for my dad. He's made a huge decision. He's getting a my dad and his wife have decided to divorce. After much consideration and a lot of therapy, they have decided that it is best for everyone if they go their separate ways. It has been a really tough call for him, but he feels it is the right move. Here's the lowdown. My dad and his wife have been trying really hard to patch things up, especially after the affair and everything that came with it. They went to counseling, talked a lot, and tried to work through their problems, but my dad just couldn't get over the betrayal. He told me that he would wake up feeling okay, but then the reality would hit him all over again, and he'd be back to feeling sad and angry. One evening, he sat me down and explained his decision. He said he felt like he was stuck in a loop of unhappiness, and it wasn't fair to anyone, including his wife. He was determined to keep things going, even though his heart wasn't in it anymore. He was really calm, but I could tell it was super hard for him. When he told his wife, it was a pretty emotional scene. She was really upset and tried to persuade him to reconsider. She said they could try harder, go to more therapy, anything. But Dad was firm. He had thought it through and felt this was the best path forward for his peace of mind and for a healthier environment for everyone, especially the twins. Speaking of the twins, my dad, one thing is clear. He adores the twins and wants the best for them. He's talking to lawyers about joint custody because he wants to be an involved dad. He doesn't want the twins to ever feel like the divorce is their fault or that he loves them any less. It's important to him that they grow up knowing both their parents love them. For now, Dad's staying in the hotel, but he's already started looking for a new place. He's looking for a fresh start in a new home where he can set up a nice space for the twins and create a peaceful life for himself. He's found some great places and even asked for my opinion on a couple. Our therapy sessions have been invaluable. They've helped us understand each other better and stay connected. It's like we're rebuilding our relationship from the ground up, which feels really good after everything. He's made a decision and I've seen a change in him. He's finally breathing easier. He's more focused and determined to build a better future. Not just for himself, but for his kids too. We're moving forward, and it's not the easiest path, but it's the right one. We've got a lot of adjusting to do, and there are still many details, but we'll get through it. We'll figure it out, especially with the divorce and custody arrangements. I'm confident we're moving towards something better, even if it's through tough changes. Thank you all for your messages, advice, and just for being there. This community has been incredible, and I appreciate every word of encouragement. I'll keep you updated as we navigate this new chapter. Stay tuned and keep those good vibes coming. It's coming our way. Update 5. I'm here with another update from our ongoing family saga. You've been incredible with your support and advice. I don't know what I'd do without this community. Buckle up because a lot has happened since my last update. First, the divorce proceedings between my dad and his wife are in full swing. Divorces can get pretty complicated. This one is no exception. There's a bunch of legal stuff that needs to be sorted out. The divorce proceedings are being sorted out, including who gets what and how they're going to split time with the twins. My dad is focused on ensuring everything is done fairly, especially for the twins' sake. He's working closely with his lawyer to navigate the legal jargon and maintain a significant presence in his children's lives. On a positive note, my dad has found a new place to live. It's a spacious house with plenty of room for the twins to play and have their own space. He's been putting a lot of energy into making it feel like a real home for them. Decorating and setting up a new house is a lot of work, but he's using it as a way to heal and move forward. It's pretty cool to see him turn a tough situation into something positive. The twins are adjusting pretty well, all things considered. Dad and his soon-to-be ex are trying to work out the kinks in their co-parenting arrangement. They've set up a co-parenting arrangement that works for everyone. Dad gets plenty of time with the twins. Sure, it's awkward and bumpy at times, but they're trying to make it work because they want what's best for the twins. We're still going to therapy together, and it's helping. We've learned a lot about communicating better and understanding each other's perspectives. It's led to a whole new level of conversation, which has been amazing for our relationship. Dad has also started seeing a therapist to help him deal with the divorce and all the emotions that come with it. It's been really helpful for him. Looking back at everything that's happened, it's been quite the roller coaster. But through all the ups and downs, we've managed to make it through. Despite the ups and downs, there's a strange sense of hope and renewal. Dad is navigating the chaos by focusing on creating a stable and happy life for himself and the twins. It's challenging, but he's putting in the effort. It's inspiring to watch him handle everything with such strength and determination. He's more engaged when we hang out, and I can tell he's genuinely trying to make the best out of a tough situation. It makes me think about we all face challenges, but it's how we respond that shapes us. Things are settling into a new normal, and we're learning and growing from the experience. Your support is a cornerstone for us, and I'm grateful for every message and piece of advice you've shared. I'll keep you posted as developments arise. The update is even more positive, and I want to thank you all again for being part of our journey. Stay tuned and keep those good vibes coming our way. It's been a long and tough road, with lots of paperwork and decisions to make, but they managed to sort everything out fairly, especially when it comes to the twins. Dad's relieved that all the legal stuff is behind him now, and there were no last-minute surprises. Dad has finished setting up his new house, and let me tell you, it's turned out to be such a cozy and welcoming place. He went all out making sure the twins have awesome rooms. Each room is decorated in their favorite colors and themes. There's a play area where they can spread out their toys and games. Dad's even started a little garden in the backyard for them to help with. It's been a huge project, but now that it's done, it feels like a real home for them. Things on the co-parenting front are looking up too. Dad and his ex-wife have finally found a good routine that works well. The kids spend weekends and a couple of weekdays with Dad, and they love it. He's planning all sorts of fun activities, trips to the zoo, picnics in the park, and even a mini road trip. He's making sure their time together is packed with fun and that they're making lots of happy memories. We're still doing our therapy sessions together, and honestly, these sessions have been a game changer. They help us talk things out, understand each other better, and deal with all the changes we've been going through. They've really strengthened our bond. Plus, Dad's personal therapy sessions are helping him a lot too. He's working through his feelings about the divorce and learning how to move forward in a healthy way. Guess what? Dad started dating again. It's still early days, but he met someone through a friend, and they seem to hit it off. Dad has been on a few dates and is taking it slow, enjoying getting to know someone new and having fun. It's great to see him happy and laughing again. He's turning a new page in his life. Looking back at everything that's happened over the last few months, it's amazing to see how much things have changed and how we've all grown from the experience. It wasn't easy, but we got through it. I can see how much stronger we are as a family now. My dad's journey from the tough times of his divorce to finding a new rhythm in life has been really inspiring. He's shown me that no matter how hard things get, there's always a way to make things better if you're willing to work for it and stay open to change. Thank you all so much for your support. Your support, advice, and just knowing you're there to listen has been incredibly helpful. I'll definitely keep you posted as more things unfold. Here's to hoping the next update brings even more good news. Stay tuned and keep sending those good vibes our way. Last update. I'm excited to share where we are now. First things first, the divorce is completely behind us, and Dad has really found his groove again. The whole co-parenting setup with his ex-wife is going much smoother than any of us expected. The twins are having a blast and really enjoy the time they spend at both houses, which is a huge relief. Dad's been all about making their days fun and educational. Whether it's from weekend science projects to day trips to the museum, he's fully embracing his role as a dad. His house has truly transformed into a welcoming home, with a cozy atmosphere and fun spaces for the twins. They have their own rooms, decorated to suit their preferences, and a backyard garden that's flourishing with tomatoes, cucumbers, and even pumpkins. It's their own little green oasis. You should see how proud they are when they show off their gardening skills. We're still hitting our therapy sessions together regularly, and I can't stress enough how much they've helped us. It's our time to talk things out, catch up on feelings, and make sure we're on the same page. Plus, Dad's personal therapy sessions are really helping him stay positive and balanced. He's learning new ways to handle stress and change. I can see how much happier he is because of it. On to some really sweet news. Dad's new relationship is going beautifully. He's been dating his girlfriend for several months now, and things are getting pretty serious. She's super nice, really fun, and gets along great with the twins. She's even come along on a few family outings, and it's been awesome to see how well she fits in with us. Watching Dad so happy and relaxed with someone new has been a joy. For all of us, it's like he's got a whole new lease on life. Looking back over the past months, it's clear that we've been through a lot. From the shock of the divorce to settling into new routines, it's been a roller coaster. But we've come out the other side stronger and closer than ever. Dad's resilience and commitment to making the best out of a tough situation have really inspired me. They show how much you can achieve when you stay positive and lean on the people who care about you. You can achieve anything when you stay positive and lean on the people who care about you. I want to thank all of you who have shared our ups and downs, given us advice, and shown that you're rooting for us. This update marks the end of a period of significant change, but I'll still share how we're doing from time to time. We're feeling hopeful and excited about the future. The twins are growing up surrounded by love and joy, and we've all learned a lot about facing challenges head-on. Thanks again for being a part of our journey. Here's to moving forward, finding joy in the little things, and embracing whatever comes our way with a big smile. I can't wait to catch up again soon. Keep sending those good vibes and sharing your stories too. Here's to sunny days ahead for all of us.